So are you wondering what it actually costs to live here in the Reno-Tahoe, Northern Nevada area? Well, I'm Brian Lessinger, your friendly Reno-Tahoe real estate agent and guide to all things Northern Nevada. So buckle up, we're about to uncover the mysteries of some of the major factors of cost of living here in Reno, but make sure you stick around to the end of the video because there's one ultimate big time factor that causes our cost of living here to be slightly higher than a lot of other places. So on this channel, we're going to be talking about all things living in, moving to, and vacationing in the Reno-Tahoe area. We're also going to talk specifics about real estate and what you might be able to afford, neighborhoods, and other content that we're going to put out. So if you're thinking about moving or living here, follow our channel and you'll get a lot of good content about what it's like to be here in Northern Nevada. I always feel cost of living is kind of one of those topics that it's all compared to what you're used to. So if we get people moving here in the Reno-Tahoe area and they're coming from LA, San Francisco, Seattle, a major West Coast city, they're gonna think our cost of living here is pretty darn affordable. But if you're coming from a small town, the Midwest, those people might think our cost of living is a little bit higher. And obviously people that have lived here for a long time are starting to feel like things have gotten a lot more expensive here. So if you wanna know precisely like where you currently live and the difference of cost of living from where you are to where it is here in Reno-Tahoe, then what you need to do is go to a website. It's called bankrate.com. What you can do is literally type in the city that you're in and Reno or a city up at the lake or Sparks or one of the surrounding areas. It'll tell you if you make X amount of dollars here, you need to make X amount of dollars there to have a very similar cost of living. If you took number 100 and said 100 is the average cost of living around the country, in our area, we're roughly 5 to 8% above the national average for cost of living. I'm gonna explain how we're more expensive than other areas, but the majority of things we're gonna talk about, I personally think it's really dependent on you as an individual. For example, let's talk about gas. I know for me, in a lot of places, especially up at Lake Tahoe, but down here in Washoe County and the Reno-Sparks area, gas here is more expensive than in some of the other counties. So for example, we charge a lot of taxes on our gas here, and because we're building a lot of new roads, the tax on our gas is being used for something beneficial. But if you drive 20 minutes down to Carson City, I just paid 75 cents a gallon less for gas there than I did up here. So gas is one of those things we're a little more pricey than most places. Transportation, utilities, healthcare, we're going to talk about on that national average of 100. The numbers I looked up for transportation showed up as 94.7. So your cost of things regarding transportation are less than a national average. Utilities, same thing. Another huge question I get being a real estate agent about Reno-Tahoe is healthcare. And healthcare, national average, we're below the cost, but I always say your healthcare is very dependent upon your specific situation. I'm self-employed, so I provide myself my own healthcare. A lot of people are getting healthcare through their companies and where they work. So the costs are going to vary quite a bit. Until you actually need or use your healthcare, you just don't know what kind of great healthcare you have. Another huge question I get from people is groceries, and this one we're actually slightly above the national average. We came up on the scale as almost 103. We have every option that you could go to. So you can go to discount foods like Winco or Save Mart, or we have the higher end grocery stores like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. Of course, we have Costco like all major cities do. Another huge one that we get a lot of questions are, especially when I have families moving here, is daycare. I think daycare is expensive everywhere. The biggest issue with daycare is having somewhere for them to go and have somewhere available for your kids. The second you find out you're having a kid and you're gonna need daycare, you better go ahead and get calling some places to get on their list so that you can get access to daycare as soon as possible. So it's more of an access thing. I just think it's expensive everywhere. Another one, and I kind of feel, again, it's a personal thing, is entertainment, eating out, bars, drinks, going out with your friends. We have all the options. So whether you're trying to do something on the low end or it's your anniversary and you want to go to some high-end dinner, just fit what works into your budget. So cost of living on some of these things I always feel is very personal and individual to you. But the number one thing of why our cost of living here is higher than most places and is a huge factor for people when they move here is housing. On that scale of up to 100, we were almost 175. Whether you're looking to rent, whether it's a studio or up to a 2 or 3 bedroom house or apartment, or whether you're trying to buy a house, our average price here is in the low 500s now. If you can find a way to get your housing situation comfortable for you, I personally think then cost of living in our area is going to be really darn good for you guys. It's just figuring out that housing portion. Of course, like I've told you many times, I am a real estate agent. So if you're trying to figure out things regarding Reno-Tahoe and the surrounding cities here in Northern Nevada, by all means, reach out. We'll get you the information that you need specific to housing. Because again, figure that one out and then all the rest of these cost of living things can easily be figured out. With that being said, we appreciate you watching today's video. If you're liking the kind of content we're putting out about Reno-Tahoe and real estate related topics, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so that you'll know about future videos that we put out there. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on our next YouTube video.